What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to go through the college football schedule and be picking the games. But before we start, be sure to subscribe to the channel. One subscriber away from 40, so be sure to hit that subscribe button to be my 40th subscriber. That would be amazing. But here we got all of the games. This is gonna be tough, so we're gonna fly through it. So I was thinking about just doing the top 25 games, like any team in the top 25 that was playing. But I decided we're going to do every single one. So starting off tonight, we have Murray State, Louisville. I'm going with Louisville. Easy win. Next up, we got Indiana State, Indiana. This will be Indiana easily. And we got Illinois, Kansas. I'm going to go with Illinois here. All right, now we get to the real games. Saturday, September 9th. I'm very excited. I really like this week. There's some very good games this week. We got Vanderbilt, Wake Forest first. Vanderbilt is solid. Wake Forest is solid, so that's the tough part. Actually, though, is Vanderbilt really that good? They're not as good as Wake Forest, at least. And Wake Forest isn't the best team in the world. This game's at 11 a.m. I've never seen that before. We got Georgia, Ball State next. It's going to be Georgia easily. Like, I'll root for the upset sometimes, but when it's Georgia against Ball State, it's obviously going to be Georgia every single time. This one, it will be Ohio State. Youngstown could put up a couple of points, like 21 maybe, but nothing much. Penn State will beat Delaware pretty easily, I believe. Notre Dame, NC State. This could be a good game. NC State is solid, I think. They're 1-0. Notre Dame is 2-0. But at the end of the day, Notre Dame's a top 10 team. And they will beat NC State. Okay, let's clear these. Next up, we got Utah Baylor. Could be another good game. Baylor, I'm not sure. I think they lost last Saturday. I can't remember completely. They might have lost. So I would already be leaning towards Utah in this one. But since Baylor lost last week, it's going to be Utah by a lot. Next up, we got Troy, Kansas State. Kansas State's obviously favored in this one. But, yeah, I think it's got to be Troy. I mean, Kansas State, sorry. It is not going to be Troy. Okay, and now we got Nebraska, Colorado, a game everyone's looking forward to. Look at this. All these tickets as low as $6, $9, 75, which is a little high, 31, 29, 24, 11, 33, 11, and then 269. This is the first Deion Sanders home game at Colorado, so that's going to be exciting, and Colorado will win it. I saw enough last week to know that they can beat just about any team out there. Give or take, like Georgia, Ohio State, maybe Penn State. I don't know. Depends on how good they get this year. But Colorado will beat Nebraska pretty easily. So we got Army, Delaware State. I really don't care about this game that much. We'll go Army. I know they're okay. We got Purdue, Virginia Tech. I'm actually going to roll with Virginia Tech here. Just because Purdue lost. They got upset last week to Fresno State, which shocked me. And yeah, they're out. Boston College played terrible. They got blown out of the water. But they are a Power 5 team, I believe, right? Yeah, they're ACC. And Holy Cross is not a Power 5 school. Boston College is a solid team. They will win. And yeah, next up we got James Madison, Virginia. I did like how Virginia played last week. Even though they lost, I think they played pretty well. I do think James Madison will win, though. Next up, South Carolina State, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech played incredible last week. They are going to win. New Hampshire, Central Michigan. Yeah, I'm going to go Central Michigan here. Could be a close game. New Hampshire could put up a decent fight, but I think Central Michigan is the better team overall. Bowling Green will be Eastern Illinois. Now Clemson. The biggest upset of last week, probably. Number 9 Clemson got taken down by Duke. Everyone was shocked, and they got crushed. They only put up 7 points, and they get a little bit of an easier game here. A lot of an easier game, actually. They need to collect themselves, try to stay in the top 25, and try to get right back up to where they were, but it'll take a lot of hard work, and they're going to need to play incredible in order to do that. That being said, Clemson will still win, though. And most of them have been on this side over here. Next up, we got Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky. It's going to be Kentucky pretty easily. Next up, Southern Utah, BYU. This will be BYU. A solid amount. Michigan, UNLV. Michigan should win this one. If they don't, I don't know. That's not my fault. Ole Miss is going to take on Tulane in one of my favorite games on Saturday. I love this game, 20 versus 24, and I'm high on both of these teams. Tulane, they had a great year last year. They made a New Year's Six Bowl last year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And Ole Miss played well also last year. It's tough. I think I'm going to go Tulane, though. I think I'm going to. Miami, Texas A&M. Texas A&M didn't move up at all this week. I honestly don't know why. They played really well. And yeah, they'll beat Miami. They crushed. I think they beat the team they played 80-3, if I'm not wrong. But Miami did crush their team, Miami, Ohio, as well. But Texas A&M is a ranked team. They will win. Iowa is no longer ranked, surprisingly, but they could get back up there with this win. This is a quality win against a quality opponent, Iowa State. They should win this one pretty easily. Well, maybe not easily, but they should win this one. And next up, we got Michigan State against Richmond. Michigan State should win. UTEP, Northwestern. This is a tough game. I believe Northwestern lost last week. That being said, I think I'm going to go UTEP here. I don't believe in Northwestern that much. I think they might make a bowl game if they're lucky. I don't know. Look at this. Tickets as low as $2. That's insane. Next up we got Western Michigan, Syracuse. Syracuse played incredible last week. They should win. And we got Miami, Ohio versus UMass. I'm actually going to go UMass here. Miami, Ohio got crushed by Miami, Florida on last Saturday. Texas State, UTSA. Last year, this would be an easy win for UTSA. This year, UTSA lost. Texas State beat Texas Tech, which was a huge upset. I'm actually going Texas State here. They are going to win. Trust me on that one. Navy will be Wagner. Surely. Northern Illinois, Southern Illinois. NIU should win. Okay, now let's erase all these. And now we get into Texas Southern, Toledo. Toledo lost in overtime to Illinois, I believe, last Saturday. So I think they'll win there. Arkansas will beat Kent State. I'm going to have Marshall here, actually. They should take down East Carolina. Next up, San Jose State, Cal Poly. Let's go San Jose State. Should be a rather easy game for them. Portland State got crushed 81-3 last week. Wyoming should win that one, hopefully. If they don't, then their season's over if they can't beat Portland State, who lost by 80 points last week. Tulsa, Washington. Solid game, I think. Tulsa is not the worst team in the world. Washington will win. Austin Peay, Tennessee. Should be Tennessee. I don't think Tennessee's as good as they were last year after they lost Hendon Hooker, but they're still going to be a good team. They're a top 10 team right now, and I think they'll stay in the top 10 for most of the year. I'm going to go with South Alabama here against Southeast Louisiana. North Carolina played incredible against South Carolina. They should take down Appalachian. Oklahoma, I liked how they played against Arkansas State. And Duke. Duke will win. Duke is going to be a top 10 team by the end of the year. The way they played against Clemson, I am a firm believer in Duke. They are going to put Duke football back on the map, and I believe that firmly. And I'm a basketball Carolina fan, so that's surprising that I just said that right now, because I hate Duke with everything in me. I hate their basketball team, but that means I also kind of hate their football team as well. I just hate the school as a whole, but I'm a believer in Duke. I think they're going to do so well this year. They might overtake North Carolina in football. New Mexico State, Liberty. Liberty will win. Go Flames. Duquesne, West Virginia. So Penn State played West Virginia last week, and West Virginia did lose by a solid amount, but I loved the way they played. They were running. So yeah, they were running all over us. Their defense was great. They just played really well all the way around. So I'm picking West Virginia to beat Duquesne pretty easily. Georgia Southern UAB. I'm gonna go UAB here. Now we have Ohio, Florida Atlantic. If you guys remember last year, Florida Atlantic did come into the top 25 towards the end of the year, and everyone was shocked about that. So yeah, I think they'll beat Ohio. Raging Cajuns. I think they'll beat the Old Dominion. Akron, Morgan State, Zips. I don't know what they are. Grizzlies, maybe. Akron should win. Fordham, Buffalo. Buffalo's gonna be solid. They'll be okay. North Texas. Hopefully they'll beat Florida International. Cincinnati, Pitt. Could be a good game. Both these teams were ranked at a time last year. And 2 years ago, I believe, Cincinnati was way up there. They might have made the top 10, I think. I think they've fallen off quite a bit. They lost a lot of their great players. Desmond Ridder, that's right. That's who it was. Desmond Ridder was the quarterback for them. Now he's on the Falcons, and I want to say he's starting week 1. So that's insane. But yeah, since Desmond Ridder left, Cincinnati hasn't done all that great. Alabama, Texas. Hear me out here. This is the game of the week for sure. I have Texas in this one. The Longhorns crushed their team last week. Alabama, I wasn't super impressed by. Their quarterback, I know it was the quarterback's first game. He's a freshman. But I wasn't impressed by Alabama that much. I'm picking the underdog here. Go Longhorns. Oregon, Texas Tech. Oregon. Saw a lot of other YouTubers put Oregon in the championship. Actually, I don't think that's gonna happen. I mean, you never know. They moved up quite a bit this week, but I highly doubt they'll be in the championship. Yeah, and Texas State lost to Texas. I mean, Texas Tech lost to Texas State this past week, which was crazy. So Oregon definitely secures that win. Coastal Carolina. Chanticleers lost last week, which a Chanticleer, if you don't know what that is, I think it's like a. We looked it up one time. It's like a sea turkey or something. I have no idea, but yeah, they'll win. Coastal Carolina wins. Next up, UConn, Georgia State. There are a lot of games this week. I think there's always this many games, but I've never done like all of them. Like last week, I just did the top 25s. This week, there's a lot, so this will be a longer video. So stay with me till the end. Louisiana Tech should beat Northwestern State. Middle Tennessee, Missouri will beat them. Next up, we have Houston Christian, Western Kentucky. I don't know much about Houston Christian. I know Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers, they're not that good, but they'll win these easy games pretty easily, I believe. Boise State, they had to take on a top 10 team, Washington, last week, and they did decent against them. At the end of the day, Washington is the better team, but they played decent against them. Rice, they got destroyed by Texas last week. Houston should win this one. Florida A&M, South Florida. It's got to be South Florida here. The Bulls will win pretty easily. Memphis, Arkansas State. Arkansas State got destroyed. I know it was against Alabama and all, but I feel like if a bad team who's not in the top 25 played Alabama, they wouldn't get beat that bad. They would get beat, but by like 20. Arkansas State got beat by 70, 80. That's just insane. That should never happen. Arkansas State may be one of the worst teams. I think they might have the worst record at the end of the year, which is insane to say because there are so many teams in college football. Idaho, Nevada. I'm going with Nevada here. They did okay against USC. They did lose by quite a bit at the end, but they had a couple of highlights. LSU, Grambling. LSU did lose to Florida State by quite a bit, which was shocking. I was watching that game. It was a great game. And Florida State really played incredible. But they should win against Grambling. Wisconsin, Washington State. Wisconsin played great. McNeese, Florida. Florida will win. They didn't lose by that much. They lost by 11 to Utah. Charlotte, Maryland. Should be Maryland, right? Minnesota will be Eastern Michigan. And I'm gonna say Arizona beats Mississippi State. Yeah. Next up, we got Temple Rutgers. I'm gonna go Rutgers here. They beat Northwestern, if I'm not mistaken, last week. South Carolina Furman should be South Carolina. I know they lost to North Carolina and all, but they did play okay. But I think the hype about them might be going downhill a little bit. Like, they had college game day at South Carolina last week, and the fans were hyped. They were all like, we're gonna beat North Carolina easily. And then North Carolina just humbled them quite a bit. UCLA should beat San Diego State. Air Force should beat Sam Houston. TCU, unranked for the first time in a year, probably. They got destroyed. No, they didn't get destroyed. They lost by 3. But they were favored by 21, and then they lost by 3 against Colorado and Deion Sanders. Now, I think Deion Sanders in Colorado is a lot better than people were saying they would be in the preseason, but I don't know. At the end of the day, TCU lost to an unranked team. Therefore, I believe they deserve to be unranked, if that's even a word. Lamar, UL Monroe. This is an odd game. I don't know if I've heard of Lamar, to be honest. I do know UL Monroe, so I guess I'll pick them. New Mexico, Texas Tech. New Mexico should win. Utah State, Idaho State, Utah State. Florida State will destroy Southern Miss by 50. UC Davis, they'll lose to Oregon State. And look, we got 5 in a row on this side. And we're going to get 6. Fresno State will beat Eastern Washington. We are flying through these as we head towards the end. There's 7 on this side. We might finish it out all on this side. Auburn, Cal. I got to break the trend. Auburn will beat Cal. And Oklahoma State will beat Arizona State. And final game that we pick is at midnight. This is at midnight on Saturday. Now, I know time zones and everything are different. I don't know if this... I don't think this is at Hawaii, though. I think this is at Albany, let me look. Hold on. Just a minute. No, it's in Honolulu. So, this is in Honolulu. And so, I don't know what the time zone is in Honolulu. I think it's 3 hours before me because I'm on the East Coast. Yeah, I bet you it's 3 hours before us. This game is actually at like 9. This game is at 9 their time. So, that's going to be it for me. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Be sure to subscribe if you've made it this far. And let's hit 40 subscribers by the end of the week at least. We only need 1. We got to do that. See you guys in a little bit. Peace.